Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to start this episode off with a little bit of Slim Numbers lore. The entire reason that I started looking at game mechanics and gym damage and stuff like that is because of Boss Battle. In particular, it was one of the first boss battles, maybe 6 months into it, and it was a boss battle where Zombie Dom was going to be able to carry, or I thought was going to be able to carry. And I wanted to know how much damage he would do, and I could not figure it out. I couldn't figure out how the plates worked. I couldn't figure out how his buff moved work. I couldn't figure out how the boss battle stuff worked. And that started my little brain on a quest to figure out how this works. And I know I've told this story before, probably in the gym damage video. But I have finally I've gotten there. I figured it out. At least I think I figured it out. I've talked a little bit in the past about who should be doing well at boss battle and who shouldn't do well, and I gave out some estimates of damage numbers and stuff like that. And I was not entirely correct. I was wrong. I was close on most of them, but I was wrong. And that has eaten me up all weekend. So I sat down and reverse engineered it. And I've come up with it. Over on the left-hand side of the screen is a new version of my gym damage calculator that is specifically for boss battles. Now, to note, it doesn't really handle the special type gym thing very well. So for the Penta boss battle, which is the weekend where I'm recording this, leech gems were buffed. This calculator doesn't handle that extremely well. I think I could figure out how to manipulate it and make it work. But I find most of the time that the specialty gems are traps anyway, and you just want to focus on the multiply gems and the color gem damage, and go as big as possible. And this calculator is designed to do just that. Okay, so we're going to start off. And this does work very similarly to the gym damage calculator. I'll link the gym damage video in the description, and I will link this particular calculator so you guys can go in and play around with it yourselves. But it does work, or it starts off at least the same way. So let's get in here. Everything works off of base gym damage. And we're going to be working with blue gems because that's the buffed gem. So our base gym damage is 42,291. Okay. And then we just keep filling things out like normal. We're going to go over here to the strap. We'll look down here. We're at 265 in strap and metals combined. Okay. I'm just going to throw it right here. I could break it out. It would equal the same thing. Okay. So if I wanted to, it'd be 150. The metal types would be 80. The percent metal bonus would be 35. Okay. That's still 165%. There is a flat metal or flat gem damage component of one of my metals. It's 45. Okay. And that takes care of the belt and the strap and the metals. Down here, entourage that I'm running is 2 percentage coaches. So Sammy for 30 and Trick Dom for 40. So that's 70% on the trainer bonuses. And the flat trainer, you do have to account for Santa, which is 2,200. Okay, so we'll toss the 2,200 in there. Now, it doesn't have any gear. There's no moment. Class advantage I'll talk about in a second, and there are no plates. Okay, so that means when we get in and look at stats, we should be down here. 754, 154. I'm at 754, 157. Rounding errors happens to the best of us. Okay. So what's happening here? Okay. Up here, you'll see total gym damage. This just calculates your gym damage base plus all of the additive stuff to it. This is if there was any multiply trainers going on. And this is the number after you activate a buff move, which JD does have, and we'll talk about that when I get live in the match. Now over here, this is the frustrating part and took me forever to figure out. These are all the boss battle buffs. You'll see here, battle attributes are applied to superstar stats after all other buffs and debuffs are applied. Okay? And I couldn't quite figure out what the order of operations is. And it turns out that it all hits at the same time. Okay? So what I mean is it calculates this 300% blue, it counts this 30% scout bonus, and it calculates the negative 25% gem debuff. And these are all down here. So I've got scout buff at 30%, means we're adding this much damage, 55,863. There is a boss debuff of 25%, so we're losing 46,553 in damage. And then the blues are 300%, so we're gaining 558,635. And that gets us to boss battle gem damage of 754, 157, which is within 3 here. It's close enough for government work. Now, the one thing that kind of threw me off as well is there is class advantage on this match. Powerhouses are naturally strong against acros and pentas and acro. We know the class advantage is 25%, and this to keep me fits forever. But when we go into the match, you'll see that a single blue gem is 796, 977. So let's do that. I've got my friends Justin Ray here and Mr. Dupa 79. They've agreed to kind of hang out with me and take forever, listen to me talk, and probably not play much of the battle. So we're going to go start here. So when we click on a blue gem, we should expect to see 796, 977. Right. Okay. So let's see. Penta looks so cool, man. It's got a great look. Okay. So here we are in match 796, 974. I'm off within 3. I'm fine with it. Okay. Now, his activated buff is 350%, so let's toss this in here. That changes everything around, and we're going to be looking for, after one cycle of this, our blue gems to do 3,586,398. 358, 6383. Again, we know what's happening here. And then I'm going to turn 40 random gems into blue. This should hit for about 143 million, not accounting for cascades and extra blues on the board. So bare minimum, it's 143 million. You can't really calculate it. Let's hit this buff again. Brings us up to 700. Now when I click on a blue gem, I should expect it to do 6,375,818. Let's wait for all this to go through. And let's click on it. There we go. 6,375,792. Every time we increase, the rounding errors get a little bit bigger. Okay. So over here, now we're going to be at 1050. We're going to expect our blue gems to do 9.165 million. Well, after we do the move, of course. There we are. 9.165. We're going to blow it up, and it's going to be approximate. At the bare minimum, it's going to be a 366 million hit. We can watch up here and kind of guesstimate it. Obviously, there are extra blues on the board. There's going to be cascades. There's no way of actually getting down to the number of what each hit's going to do. But you can see right there, that was real close. Well, I mean, it was more. So that's it. Everything is based off the order of operations of how everything is put together here. So if we go back over to the spreadsheet, you can see that all of this stuff here is like the first layer, so to speak. And that's where these 3 numbers come in, and these 3 like little sections. The total gem damage with multiply stuff like the multiply trainers and stuff. And then the total damage with the activated buff and any multiply trainers. All right, so this number right here is the big one. This is the end of the additive and multiplicative buffs that are in the game. And then from there, you stack on everything else. This is where the scout debuff, the boss debuff, and the specialty boss buffs come into account. And it comes over here to boss battle gym damage is what I'm going to call it. And you can accurately predict what you're going to do, which is real cool. Hey, Slim, awesome. You figured out one gym. Congratulations, right? Well, I took it just one step further. And in this calculator, this is how I was able to kind of guesstimate what my minimum size to hit was going to be. All right. So over here, I've created a column. I know that JD's blue move is going to break 40 gems. So I take this 40, multiply it by boss battle gem damage of, whatever it is after his buffs. The last hit I did with him, it was 1050 activated buff. That's how I knew I was going to do a minimum of 366 million damage. All right, I kicked it all out there. And then I went one step further because of the way multiply gems work. Multiplies are just instances of damage. Okay, so you don't have to think about it any more than, hey, just take the totality and then how many of those totalities are there. That's what the multiplies are. So if I had multiplied gems of size 12 and there were 28 of them that were getting broken at the boss battle gem damage of 9.16 million, I would have done a minimum 3 billion damage, I think. Is that right? Yeah, it would have been like 3 billion damage. Which is silly, but so now you can account for like Zombie Ray in this particular boss battle. You know you're breaking 49 gems, but 14 of those were multis, and the size of those multis were huge, right? I mean, I think they were close to, let's call them 20, right? So it calculates it all out. So just the multiply parts, no, it wasn't 20. Couldn't have been that big. Oh, my activated buff is way through the roof. What was his? 10 to 20 jugs at 40 a piece. So that was 400, 800. I don't know why I'm trying to estimate this with Zombie Ray. I don't have any of his base gym damage in here. Doesn't matter. You can see how it got so huge and why Zombie Ray hit so big. Okay. I think it was actually 18s. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And then you can calculate how many other gems he would have broken. So 49 minus 14 is 39, 35. And then you just add these two numbers up and you know what the minimum hit it would be with both multiplies and the regular gems. That's it. That's the secret. That is the secret to boss battle gem damage. It has only taken me like 2 years and some change to figure it out. But this is how it works. So going forward, every time you see me on stream or in a Discord, or I'm saying, hey, this person should hit for this amount, it's because I've used this calculator and I've kind of interpolated out, okay, this is what the gym damage is going to be. This is how many they're going to break. This is how many multis they're going to break. This is their entourage setup. There's a strap setup. There's everything. I'll have everything. And you will have the link to this as well. So if you don't want to listen to me, you can do it yourself. And that's the point of all of this. I want you guys to be able to do this on your own. I want you guys to be able to be like, oh, cool. Let me pull out the calculator. Let me see how good this person is. How great this person is going to be for boss battle or feuds or SmackDown, using some of my other calculators. I want you guys to be able to just plug in numbers into a calculator and come up with a very informed guess to how well your characters and your cards and your roster is going to work. Okay. Oh my goodness, I did it. Woohoo! If you've learned anything today, if you've been entertained by anything today, or if you just happen to like the sound of my voice, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe. Please share this video to all your faction mates. and even friends in other factions or sister factions, because I think this is pretty good information. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.